Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and this is another edition of My Favorite Christmas Songs on MisplacedStraws.com. My guest today was on the site a little earlier this year when he released his solo record, Werewolves of Portland. But he's now releasing his first ever Christmas record called Twas, and of course, he's here to talk about it as well as his other favorite Christmas songs. Please welcome back one of my favorite guitar players, Mr. Paul Gilbert. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you very much. I want to play a B note. Is that okay?
Of course.
Oh, that was nice. You know what happens? The fret heats up. You keep doing that, because the string is metal, the fret is metal, and it's rubbing up against each other. And after 20 seconds, it gets hot and the fret gets all scratchy. You start thinking like there's something wrong with my guitar, but then you cool down and it's all right.
That's cool. Never knew that. So
Merry Christmas.
You as well. So let's start with Twas. After all these years, why do your first Christmas record now?
Well, I don't know. It was one of those things where the seed of the idea happened, and I just got more and more excited about it. And I enjoyed the research because I listened to a lot of other people's recordings of Christmas songs, and I just started finding versions that I'd never heard that I really liked. You know what? Another thing was I just realized this. My wife's Japanese, and they celebrate Christmas in Japan, but it's not quite the event that it is here in the States. But she wanted to have some Christmas music in the house, so she went to the vinyl record store and just bought a bunch of Christmas records. And the records she got were so cool. Like one of them was like the Gene Autry Christmas album, like from the 50s, and it's just like really traditional, which is kind of what you want sometimes,
right?
But the other one she got that was great was a Stevie Wonder.
Oh, wow.
I forget what the title of it, but it came out in 1968 or something, early in his career, and that's a great one. The way he would deliver everything with like that soulful, through a soulful ear was really nice. And then I made my own discoveries. Like I found I really liked a lot of the Nat King Cole versions. I never thought I'd say it, but some of the Barbra Streisand stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my dad used to make fun of my mom because my mom liked Barbra Streisand. she was scared to even mention it because my dad would get on her case about it. But witnessing that, I felt like, oh, I better never listen to Barbra Streisand. But then she's legendary, so I thought, well, I'll check it out. And her version of what's that one? Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That's the one I kind of used as a blueprint for my version. And because her phrasing is so great and it's just beautiful, and the orchestration's incredible. So, and then also like, it's sometimes the trickiest ones are like the kids, the ones that are kind of
the simple ones,
because if you listen to the Christmas song, that's actually like a jazz standard, relatively sophisticated chord changes, and it's kind of cool. But where do you find a cool version of Frosty the Snowman? It's like, am I really going to play this? I'm an adult, and I ended up like, I love Loretta Lynn's version of Frosty. That was great, and Rudolph was the toughest one. I just could not really find a version of Rudolph that I connected with, so I had to make my own. I ended up sort of coming up with this like funk reggae riff, like I think. And then played it on guitar, but and then all this other stuff. It's a complex arrangement that they did for that. And actually, Frosty is kind of crazy too. I made it minor, like and then later on it goes to back to major, but then it's in 7/8, and then there's the blues part at the end. So it's just trying to find ways where, as an adult, I could do something interesting to the simple ones, and then also handle the jazz ones, because I know a little bit about jazz, but it's not really my language that I'm fluent. It's definitely like a second or third language. So So that's why I hired some real jazz players to come in and help me through the figure out the chords.
And in addition to some of the classics on there, you also have a few two original Christmas songs on here. And that's one thing I love is when artists write new Christmas songs. Like you said, there's a million versions of all of the others, so it's hard to come up with something unique with those. So when you're writing your own, especially with an instrumental, what is it that you feel you need to add to it to make it a Christmas song?
Well, I started with the lyrics. Now, of course, as you said, it's an
Right.
instrumental song, but that's been kind of my writing mode for the last few albums. Is I'll start with a lyric, and that'll inspire a melody, and the melody inspire the arrangement, and then you can kind of pull the scaffolding away. Because what you used to build it, you don't necessarily need anymore because you've built what you built. So, but it's funny on the videos, because we did videos for the whole record, and we played live in the studio, so it was easy to shoot it. And for those songs, since nobody's heard them before, I made lyric videos. So as I'm playing the melody on guitar, I put the lyrics below, and you can kind of follow the bouncing ball or sing along. And they came. The two that I wrote are really different from each other. One, I think I remember what key it's in. I got to grab the chart. Let's see. It is. Oh my goodness! So the first chord's an A flat over B flat, which is the chord of the 70s.
Yeah, that's AM radio right there.
AM gold, and then that went to E flat. I'm singing the night every Christmas it snows. Depends on the place where you go. And that was playing with slide, and then it ended up, with the chord of the 70s, you can modulate anywhere. So I ended up with, that's what. Every Christmas has love. And thank goodness I've got the guitar for that, because I can't hit that note. So that's like kind of this laid back, R&B 70s group. Then the other one I wrote was crazy, because I used a 3-string guitar, which I've got right here. It's actually a double neck, and the bottom neck is normal, like a 6-string. So if I can play my normal stuff on that one, so it's not in tune, and then the top neck is in octave. It's just 3 strings. Got a high E, middle E, and a low E. And so the song is actually written about this guitar. It's called 3 Strings for Christmas. And my idea was like, okay, I got 3 strings for Christmas. Maybe next Christmas I can get the other 3. But like, what can you do with 3 strings? And it's also like a short scale guitar, so you can really stretch out. And I found if I only play on the dots, then it makes like an A9 arpeggio. You get the almost like spells out an A9 chord. And I just did a lick where I play those notes on 2 strings, all the way down and all the way back up, and then do the down part again. So like that, and then just change to the next set of dots. Put that all together, and you get like. And that's you can only do that with a 3-string.
Yeah.
So, and then for the actual, like, the lyric part I wrote, there was well, I've got 3 strings for Christmas. So. And almost like a country western. And so pretty different than the other one, but they're both of some relating to Christmas somehow.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun, and that goes back to what you were saying, the Gene Autry and Loretta Lynn influences coming out on that one with the 3 strings.
Oh Well, yeah, and we got 3 ships as well.
And the video for that just recently came out, and it's cool because with that song, for all the versions of that song that there are, I always equate to John Anderson from Yes. He does an amazing version of it on his, so it was cool to hear your take on it as well.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
And people don't realize, I think, just how much actual original Christmas music there is out there, and original arrangements. I mean, whether it's taking just the guitar stuff like Brian Setzer, Gary Hoey, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra stuff, Joel Hoekstra, it's
the Ventures, like
the Ventures, yeah.
They did the song Sleigh Ride,
Yep.
And it was so good because I was going to do that. I thought like, oh, Sleigh Ride, I got to do that one. And I heard the Ventures song. I was like, nope, they win. there's no way I can get close to being that cool, because they got all like the real subtle whammy moves. It's total like surf Batman. Just 60s cool.
Well, it was funny. Last year when I was doing one of these segments, I was talking with Tom Brislin from Kansas, their keyboard player, and we did an entire segment talking just about the Ventures Christmas record, because it's one of the landmark records in his life. So we spent the whole time talking just about that one. Do you ever see yourself like doing a once a year Christmas show where you play these things and have some guests and expand on it?
I would love doing it. It's a lot of work to work up a whole unique set for one show. It's just a matter of like finding that block of time, and I would need a block of time because the arrangements I came up with were pretty challenging. And so somehow we managed to do it in 6 days, but we didn't have to memorize. We could sort of dump our memory after each song. So to get it where we could perform the whole set, it seems it seems formidable at the moment. It maybe wouldn't be as hard as it seems, but at the moment it seems like looking up at a mountain and going like, I don't know if I can climb that, or at least I need some time to get ready.
And this time too, you do have a band with you. When we talked last time on Werewolves of Portland, you did the whole record yourself. What made you bring a band in, and who did you bring in with you for Twas?
Well, we could, because there was like this little window of COVID not being an issue. Because it sort of came back, but there was we recorded it in the summer, and everything was sort of loosening up, and so we thought, I think we can breathe air in the same room, and that's a big deal, to be able to. Because I like being close to the musicians and feeling the air move. So that was it. Plus, I really liked what they contributed. I mean, with Werewolves, I had an engineer to work with, which is really helpful. But with this one, like Dan Ballmer, the guitar player, he's local Portland jazz guitar legend. And he had so many ideas that I really needed, because the one thing that would happen is like a reoccurring Christmas song problem is that you've got the melody twice and then it's over. And so you look at how long you go back. I would find the Nat King Cole version. I'd go like, oh, this is my favorite. I love it. The chords are great, but the song is a minute 10 seconds. It's like if I do that, I'm gonna have 25 songs on the album. We need to get we need to stretch it out somehow. And coming from a rock background, a lot of the stuff I never got used to stretching stuff out. I was always like 3-minute pop song. But he would come up with ideas like for the opening tracks, the Hark the Herald Angels Sing. There's melody, but he came up with the jam in the middle. And just do that for a while, play some solos, then go back to it. And it seems simple after the fact, but it's not simple when you're sitting there going like, I don't know what else we're gonna do. But he in particular was really helpful with arranging this stuff, and of course just everybody else with their playing and their grooves. It's nice. It's nice to have 5 good brains all focused on on making something happen. It's like magic then.
Yeah, it's funny. Rick Wakeman always tells a story of when he was recording Morning is Broken with Cat Stevens. And as you said, the arrangement's about a minute long. And they're like, well, you need a 3.5-minute song to get on the radio. So it was the same kind of thing. It was like, okay, well, what do I do for the other 2 minutes? So it's problem throughout history.
Got a couple notes, put them in.
Yeah. Is this like a one-off record for you, or do you see yourself every couple of years maybe going back and doing another volume?
Well, I did really like O Tannenbaum. That was a Nat King Cole version I listened to a lot, but it was similar to Three Ships in a way. Well, I guess they're actually different grooves, but they're kind of like slower. That's the thing. You got to be careful with the slow ones.
Yeah.
Because you have too many slow songs on the record, and people fall asleep. So I already had maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 songs that had slower grooves in them, or melodies that were kind of drawn out. So but I love the song. It was just like, I already got some stuff that's enough like that where I can't really. The other thing was, a lot of the Nat King Cole stuff, he's first of all a male singer, because so in general, guys have lower voices than women do, and he stays in that range. He's like, when I did the song that came out as we speak, I just released Three Ships.
Yeah.
It's like as all these ships come sailing in, and that's compared to like Ann Wilson from Heart, you got it's way down there, and it's like on the low strings in the low part of the neck, and which I love that, because it forces me to do something I've never done before. Usually if you go like, okay, I'm going to be the lead, you immediately go, okay, you start playing in that high range, and so to be like the lead melody focus of the song down here. That with that low note on guitar, on with voice, I'm happy to be down there, because that's my range. But in guitar, that's really on the low end of things, and I hardly ever, have managed to have that kind of tone that you get from being low like that, and have that be the center of it. So that was a great way to kind of stretch out and go like, is it possible? And technically to get that with slide, I mean, actually I didn't do that with slide. Then I did the answer with slide. That was high. So all the other stuff, or did I do maybe the bridge? I can't remember. I have to watch the video and find out.
There we go. So again, we've been spending some time here just with the great Paul Gilbert, and I could stay and talk music and guitars with you all day long, but I know you have other things to do. The record is called Twas. It's out everywhere, digital and CD, on November 26th. The vinyl will follow on December 10th. It's a fun record. It's a great new Christmas record. And Paul, just thank you so much for coming on and talking about this today. And have a Merry Christmas to you and your family. And hopefully we can catch you on the road in 2022.
That sounds good. And make sure to check out Winter Wonderland, the last track, because I used the Nikita power drill in that with 4 picks spinning around. Yeah,
I saw in one of the videos it starts off with you doing that, so definitely have to check that out as well. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul. We'll talk to you soon.
Merry Christmas.
You too.